time that the priest of the Lord, gentlemen, will be called up to present ourselves. La Yashala. Ahmadiyya, which means to stand. When Panyan Hakudam and face the east. Here the east will be this way. We're going to do the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. The Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemaya, Kodash, Hayah, Shemka, Yahweh, Malakutka, Zaba'a, Ratazah, Ka, Hayah, Aisha, Ba'arataza, Kawa, Hayah, Bashamaya, Nathulanawa, Lacham, Kal, Yawam, Wasalakanawa, Habawak Nawa, Kasalak Nawa, Habawak Yanawa, Wala'a, Sabaya'a Nawa, Banasayawan, Abal, Awashai Nawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Waha'ala, Watapara, La Awalanyam, Aman. In the English, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever, so be it. We're going to get her cop, the power in the Hebrew, Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shah, Babu Shah, Nasan Nawa, Hakak, Lava Pa'a, Kal Wakal Marawa, Hakak, Latahar, Habad Zariah, Hakak, Lahakoyim, Hamasyim, Hakak, Awakawa, Hatama Allah, Lagavashan, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shah, the water Aman. In the English, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shah, please give us the power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the lepers, the power to raise the dead, the power against unclean spirits, to cast them out. In the name of Yahweh Shah, thank you, so be it. We'll give bless Israel in the Hebrew, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, Barak Lanawa, Wa Yasha Allah, Wahab Bayat Saparian, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, the water Aman. In the English, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shah, bless us and Israel and the schools. In the name of Yahweh Shah, thank you, so be it. Psalms 121 in the Hebrew, Asha'ah, Ayanya, all Hohoyim, Ma'ayan, Yaba'ah, Isaiah, Ma'ayin, Yahweh, Aisha, Shemayim, Wa'arataza, Al Yasan, Lamawat, Wagalaka, Al Yanawam, Shamorka, Hana, La'a, Yanawam, Wala'a, Yayashan, Shawamor, Yasha'ala, Yahweh, Shamorka, Yahweh, Tazalika, Al Yad, Yamyanka, Yawamam, Hashamash, La'a, Yakaka, Wayarat, Balayala, Yahweh, Yashamorka, Makaurai, Yashamor, Apnapashka, Yahweh, Yashamor, Taza'aska, Babuwa'aka, Ma'ita, Wa'aid, Awalam, Aman. In the English, I will lift up mine eyes into the hills, from which cometh my help. My help cometh from Yahweh, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out and not coming in this time forth and even forevermore, so be it. Psalm 83 in the Hebrew, Alahayim, Al Damayalaka, Al Taharash, Al Tashakwat, Al Kayahana, Awayabyaka, Yahama Yawan, Ra'ash, Al Imaka, Ya Arayamwa, Sawad, Wayata Ya'ai Tazawa, Al Tasapuanyaka, Amorawa, Lakawa, Wanakakidam, Magoya, Wala'a, Yasakor, Sham Yasha Allah, Iwad, Kaya, Nawa'ai Tazawa, La Yakhadwa, Audika, Barya, Yakarakwa, Ahoya, Adawam, Wayashama Alayam, Mawa'aba, Wahagorian, Gabor, Wa'aimawan, Wa'aimalak, Palashat, Am Yashabya, Tazawar, Gama Ashawar, Nalawa, Aimam, Hayawa, Zawawai, Labanya Lawat, Salat, Aishalaham, Kamadian, Kasayat, Saba'a, Kayabdan, Banakal, Koyashwan, Nashamadwa, Ba'ayanda Ara Hayawa, Daman, La Adama, Shayathamwa, Narayamawa, Ka'ira, Wakazaaba, Wakazabat, Wakazalmanai, Kal, Nasiyakamwa, Ashar, Amorwa, Nayavasha, Lanawa, Afna Awa, Alahayam, Alahaya, Shayathamwa, Kagalgala, Kakwash, Lampanya Raha, Ka'ash, the Ba'ira Ira, Wakalahaba, Salahat, Haryam, Khan, the Radatma, Basa Iraka, Wabasawapaka, Sabahalam, Mala'a, Pandaham, Kwalawan, Wayabakwaswa, Shamka, Yahawa, Yabashwa, Wayabahalwa, Aya Ay, Wayakaporwa, Waya Abadwa, Waya da Iowa, Kaya, Asa, Shamka, Yahweh, Labadka, Al the One, Al Kala, Rataza, Aman. In the English, keep not thou silence, O Yahweh, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Yahweh, for lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, Come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more remembered. For they are consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites of Moab and the Hagarenes, Gabal and Ammon and Amalek, the Philistines, with the inhabitants of Tyre. Asher also is joined with them. Their hope in the children of Lot, Salah, do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera, after Jabin, at the brook of Kasan, which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make the nobles like Oreb, and like the Ed, yea, all the princes as Zabah, and as Ramuna, who said, Let us take to ourselves the house of Yahweh in possession. O my power, make them like a wheel, as the stubble before the wind, as the fire burns of the wood, and as the flame setteth the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name, O Yahweh. Let them be confounded and troubled forever. Yea, let them be put to shame and perish, that men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the most high over all the earth. So be it. Sar, which means to turn, is Shabian, which means to can now be seated. Shalom, Israel, the Israelite School Universal Practical Knowledge, started at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, on the Commander General Yohana. We're not affiliated with any other Israelite group nor any other Christian organization. This is the Sabbath service class. The Sabbath service is something very important to attend. Don't take this lightly. Right? The Sabbath service is a high holy day. All right. Everybody wants to make sure you make it to the service. The Lord says to reverence the sanctuary in the scriptures. All right. And this is what the Lord is talking about. Like there was a service for the Sabbath that brothers and sisters would go to. Like this is where you would learn about the Lord. Like this is where you would learn about our culture and learn about the customs that the Lord passed down to the Israelites. The culture and the customs that the Lord passed down to the Jews, which are so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. So we're going to go ahead and get in the scripture. All right. And we're going to follow along. We're going to be in Numbers chapter 25. So Numbers 20, and we're gonna start at verse 1. So Numbers chapter 25, verse 1 in the Hebrew. All right. Wayashab, Yasha Allah, Bashat Yam, Wayachal, Ha'aim, Lazanwa, Aul, Banwat, Mawa'aba. Verse 2. Was it Slakia? Was the Kara'awa, La'aim, Lazabafia, Alahaya, Slakia, Alahayana, Ya'akal, it's like a Waya'akal, Ha'aim, it's like a Wayashathak, Thakwan, La La'aya, Sahayan. It's like a la alahayan. It's like a alahaya halahayana. Verse 3. Waya tazamak. It's like a waya tazamad yasha Allah la ba'al pa'ai war. It's like a pa'ai war. Waya khor Yahweh baya yasha Allah ba yasha Allah. Verse 24. Waya more Yahweh al mashah kwat kal ra'ashia ha'ain wahakwai Athma la Yahweh Nagad Nashamash. It's like a Hashamash Wayashab Haran. It's like a Karwan Yahweh Ma Yasha Allah. Like a Ma Yasha Allah. Ma Yasha Allah. Verse 5 in the Hebrew. Wayamor Masha al Shapatya Yasha Allah Haragwa Ayash Hanash. Like it Hanashian. It's like a Hanashiana, Hana Tazamad, Yum, Laba'al, I war. Ba'al, it's like it, Ba'al, it's like a Laba'al, I war, which is Ba'al pure in the Hebrew. Numbers chapter 26. Numbers chapter 25, verse 6 in the Hebrew. Wahana Ayash. Mabanya Yasha Allah. It's like in Mabanya Yasha Allah Ba'a Wayakarab Awala Akyawa Ak Hama it's like a Hamadian Ya. Let's see Hamadian Ya La Ayanya Masha Wala it's like a Wala Ayah Naya Kaul Aida. It's like a Banya Yasha Allah, Wahama, Bakyam, it's like it, Bakyam, Pasak, Ahal, Mawa'id. Numbers chapter 27 in the Hebrew. Wayara'a, Payasakas, it's like it, Payanakas, Ban, Ala Izar, Hala Izar, it's like it. Ban ala Izar, Ban Aharan, Hakahan, Wayakwam, like a Wayakma, Mathawak, Da'ida, Wayakwak, Ramak, Bayadwa. All right, that's the first 7 verses in the Hebrew. Most High in Christ. Let's clap it up. And let's get it in the English. Now, Numbers chapter 25, verse 1 in the English. And Israel abode in Shittim, and the people began to commit whoredom with the daughters of Moab. Like, this is something very important to understand. Like, we were never supposed to go outside of our nation of people. Like when it says to commit whoredom with the daughters of Moab, we were never supposed to take Moabites as our wives. We were never allowed to take another nation to be our wives. You understand? And so this is how the nation of Israel committed whoredom with the daughters of Moab. Like, this is why they're saying the daughters of Moab, all right? Because we were taking heathen wives. That's why all these fake Israelites talking about we can go ahead and marry all kinds of nations and all this type of garbage. Like, and the laws talking about this, like, this is in the law. Like, this is the Numbers talking about we committed whoredom with the daughters of Moab. In Numbers chapter 25, verse 2. Verse 2, and they called the people unto the sacrifices of their gods, and the people did eat and bowed down to their gods. And by taking them as wives, and by committing whoredom with them, we ended up also doing, that's why it says, and
they called the people unto the sacrifices of their gods. We start to worship their God. You understand? Verse 3. And Israel joined himself unto Baal Peor, and the anger of the Lord was kindled against Israel. Like that was the God we started to serve, was the Moabite God Baal Peor. We were never supposed to worship any other God but the Most High. Like we were never, there was supposed to be no other gods but the Most High, the God of this Bible. Like this is why we're going through the things we're going through now. We're suffering so much because we don't know how to be separate. We don't know how to be holy. Like it is so separate and holy to only deal with your own race of people and your own nation of people. Like the Lord wants us to realize something here. Like the Lord wants us to understand something. Verse 4. Verse 4. And the Lord said unto Moses, take all the heads of the people and hang them up before the Most High against the sun, that the fierce anger of the Lord may be turned away from Israel. Like it was our leader, like the leaders, the heads, meaning the leaders of Israel at this time, the leaders of the tribes, the heads of the tribes were being punished for this. Like because this falls on the leadership. The Lord always wants us to understand that it's always going to fall on leadership. The reason why the community isn't doing so well because of leadership. The reason why our schools are so poor and our neighborhoods are so poor is because of leadership. The reason why we're sinning and the reason why we're killing each other and murdering each other is because of leadership. It's because of the failed leadership that we've had in the Black, Hispanic, and Native American community. We never want to forget about leadership. Like when it comes to reading these scriptures and reading the Bible, you do not want to forget about leadership. Always harp on leadership, all right? Because leadership plays such an important part in building up a nation. Leadership is everything. Leadership can go as low as being in the home as a father and being a man of the house. That's leadership. You understand? And it can go as high as being in charge of a nation. You understand? Leadership. And our leaders in Israel were punished for this because of what we were doing. Verse 5. And Moses said unto the judges of Israel, slay ye every one his men that were joined unto Baal Peor, meaning this was a death penalty. It was a death penalty for you to serve the God, all right, of the Moabites. Verse 6. And behold, one of the children of Israel came and brought unto his brethren a Midianitish woman in the sight of Moses, and in the sight of all the congregation of the children of Israel, who were weeping before the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. So we were already in mourning. We were already being punished by the Most High. And then some Israelites, some brother decides to bring his Midianitish woman, all right, meaning this was a heathen woman. This was a woman not of the Israelites, all right. You understand? He decides that this was a good idea. Verse 25, chapter 25, verse 27. Numbers chapter 25, verse 27. And when Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron the priest, saw it, he rose up among the congregation and took a javelin in his hand. And so, of course, we're going to read the rest of it next week. All right, but we're gonna finish out how important it is to have the spirit of the Lord and to understand how important it is to not take a wife of another nation and how not to serve other gods. Like come to the Sabbath service and come learn your culture and come learn your heritage. Like this is something to not be taken lightly. Like this is something to not just take for granted. Like this is a part of our culture. This is a part of this is a part of our customs that the Lord passed down to us. All right. This is no joke. The Lord is not playing around. All right. The Lord is not playing around at all. All right. With that I say Amadio means to stand. La Yashala.
time that the men of Israel and the brothers and the priests would come up and they would salute the Tanakh. Imagine, which means to stand, everyone can now stand. Well, Panyahak were done and face the east. We're going to do the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. The Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew, Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Hayah, Shemka, Yahweh Malakufka, Daba'a, Batazaka, Hayah, Aisha, Ba'arataza, Kawa, Hayah, Bashamayim, Nathanawa, Lacham, Ka, Yawam, Wasalakanawa, Habawak Nawa, Kasalak Nawa, Habawak Nawa, Wala'a, Dabaya'a Nawa, Banasayawan, Habor, Hawashai Nawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Waha'ala, Wa Ta'parawa, La Awalamyam, Aman. In the English, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever, so be it. We're going to get Hakak, the power in the Hebrew, Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh, Baba Kwashah, Nathanda Nawa, Hakak, Lava Pa'a, Ka'amakala, Wakal Marawa, Hakak, La Sahar, Hamat Zarian, Hakak, La Hakayim, Hamakyim, Hakak, Al-Bakawa, Hatama'ala, the Garashan, Ba'ashim Yahweh, the water among. In the English, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh, please give us the power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the lepers, the power to raise the dead, the power against unclean spirits, to cast them out. In the name of Yahweh, thank you, so be it. I'm going to get blessed Israel in the Hebrew. Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh, Baraku Nawa, Wayasha'ala, Wahaba Yasafaryam, Ba'ashim Yahweh, the water a month. In the English, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh, bless us and Israel and the schools. In the name of Yahweh, thank you, so be it. And we get Psalms 121 in the Hebrew, Asha'a, Ayanya, All Hohoyim, Ma'ayan, Yaba'a, Isaiah, Ma'aim, Yahweh, Aisha, Shemayim, Wa'arataza, Al Yasan, Lamawat, Vadalaka, Al Yanawam, Shamoraka, Hana, La'a, Yanawam, Wala'a, Yagashan, Shawamor, Yasha'ala, Yahweh, Shamoraka, Yahweh, Tazalaka, Al Yad, Yamdinka, Yawamam, Hashamat, La'a, Yakaka, Wayara, Walayala, Yahweh, Yashamoraka, Makarai, Yashamor, Afnapashka, Yahweh, Yashamor, Taza'afka, Baba Wa'aka, Ma'ita, Wa'aid, Awalam, Aman. In the English, I will lift up mine eyes into the hills, from which cometh my help. My help cometh from Yahweh, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in, from this time forth and even forevermore, so be it. We're going to get Psalms 83 in the Hebrew. Alahayim, Al Damayalaka, Al Dakarash, Wa Al Dashakwa, Al Kayahana, Awayabdika, Yahama Yawan, Wa Ash, Al Aimaka, Ya Arayamwa, Tawad, Wayataya Aitazawa, Al to the Pawanyaka, Amoawa, Lakawa, Wanakakida, Mogoya, Wala Aya, the Kor, Shamyasha Allah, Aiwad, Kayana, Wa Aitazawa, La Yahadwa, Audika, Baraya, Yakorakwa, Ahalya, Adawan, Wayashama Aliyam, Mawa'aba, Wahabayam, Gabor, Wa'amawan, Wa'amalak, Talasha, Anyashabya, Kazawar, Gama Ashawar, Nalawa, Imam Hayawa, Dabawai, Labanya Lawat Salah, Aishalaham Kamadian, Kasayasa al Kayabyan, Banakawa Kwa Yashwan, Nashamadwa, Baayanda Ara Hayawa, Daman La Adama, Shayathamwa, Nadayamawa, Kaiba, Wakaza Abba, Wakaza Bak, Wakazalmanai, Kau, Nasajakamwa, Ashor, Amorwa, Nayavashala, Nawa, Naawa, Alahayam, Alahaya, Shayathamwa, Kadalgala, Kakwash, the Panyavaha, Kaash, Taba Ira Ira, Wakalahaba, Salahat, Haryam, Khan, Dabadatma, Basa Iraka, Wabasawa Paka, Dabahalam, Mala'a, Panyaham, Kwalawan, Waya Bakwashwa, Shamka, Yahawa, Yabashwa, Waya Bahalwa, Aya Ayin, Waya Haporwa, Waya Abadwa, Waya Da'ayawa, Waya Kaya Asta, Shamka, Yahweh, Labarka, Owl the One, Owl, Kaula, Rakazar, Amun. In the English, keep not thy silence, O Yahweh, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Yahweh, for lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more remembered. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites, of Moab, and the Hagarenes, Gabal, and Ammon, and Amalek, the Philistines with inhabitants of Tyre. Asher also is joined with them. They have opened the children of Lot, Salah, do unto them as unto the Midianites. As to Sisera, as to Jabin, at the brook of Kasan, which perished at Endor, they became as dung for the earth. Make the nobles like a red, and like the edge, yea, all the princes as the bar. And as the moon who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of Yahweh in possession. On my power, make them like a wheel, as the stubble before the wind, as the fire burneth the wood, and as the flame setteth the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name. O Yahweh, let them be confounded and troubled forever. Yea, let them be put to shame and perish, that men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the most high over all the earth. So be it. Star, which means to turn. Shabian for the sisters. The sisters can now be seated. Men of Israel, we're going to give a quick salute to the brothers. Men of Israel, Madam Shabbat, Amadi, Barak, Yahweh Baal Shem Yahushua Barakathum, Yad Mutah, Saul Akwafi, which means turn to the sisters. I'm Madian for the sisters. Now the sisters can now stand. Men of Israel, we're going to give a courteous salute to the sisters. Men of Israel, Madam Shabbat, Amadian, Barak, Yahweh Shemar Lathan by Shem Yahushua, Yad Mutah. With that, class dismissed.